Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a book review of The Jewel by Amy Ewing, and this is a YA dystopian novel, and it is I've really enjoyed this. It's a very interesting read and it's got a lot of really cool themes actually. Overall I gave this 3.5 or 4 stars out of 5. I did really enjoy this and I got through this really fast. However, I do have deep issues with this. The main premise of the book is that it follows a character, a girl called Violet, and at the first page of the book you meet Violet on her last day as Violet. The next day she is going to be sold and she's going to become lot 197. In this world that the book is set, young girls from the poorer parts of the communities are sold as surrogates to carry the children of the royalty, and this book follows Violet, who is one of those surrogates. It's a really, really cool book and it's full of court and royal politics and intrigue and drama, and the politics and the gossipiness is not tame, it's deadly. People die from this, and it's a really interesting world and it's a really cool and interesting concept. If you like books that are a little bit slower but are still dystopian, or still in not set in this world, then definitely check this out because it is really interesting, and Violet is a really interesting character. I feel like I've said the word interesting a lot in the past like 2 minutes, but oh well. As I said, I only really give this 3.5 out of 5 stars, and my main issues with this were to do with the synopsis on the back. So whilst I do the first half of this video that is spoiler free, I want to say that if you are interested in looking into this book, maybe don't read all of the synopsis, because there is stuff in the synopsis that does not happen until 200 pages into the book. Now this book is only about 350 pages, so it sort of is, or it's told you stuff which isn't going to happen until over halfway through the book, and I feel like that is just unnecessary, and it definitely spoiled things for me a little bit. And so that is definitely something which, if you are looking into this book, just be careful. Maybe don't read the full synopsis, or just watch maybe unspoiler reviews, because it will tell you stuff which is going to happen halfway through the book, and if you don't want that, then maybe don't read the synopsis on the back. A part of this book which I really loved is the fact that the people who have the most power and the main amount of power in this book are the females. As I said, it's very sort of court and royal politics. It's basically like a deadly chess game with people, and that all of this, predominantly all of it, is done by females, and it's the duchesses and all the countesses, ladies, who all of this is sort of revolving around, and it's revolving around the surrogates as well, obviously, and that is something which I really enjoyed figuring out, and seeing how a world that on the surface is ruled by men, but actually underneath, no way, the men in this there's only one man in this who really has a lot of power, and that's the executor. Apart from him, the women in this are in charge, and that was something which I really loved, and was really not surprised, because actually the premise of the book is definitely probably more to do with the females, and the kind of world that this is. They see the surrogates and the balls and all that sort of court stuff as a female, as the female's job and as the female's role, but at the same time, the amount of power that these duchesses and the countesses have is insane, and that is why it's not just this bitchy gossipy thing. It's deadly. It's a deadly game of court politics, and that is something which I really did enjoy about this, because it was just females kicking ass, even if they were being really horrible or they would be killing off people, but I really liked that aspect. That's the end of my sort of spoiler free bit. I have got a full review of this on Goodreads, which I will link in the down bar, so if you have read this, carry on watching. If you don't want to be spoiled, then go read The Jewel and come back, and if you don't mind being spoiled, or you just want to know my deeper thoughts, then keep going as well. As I said, I had a few issues with this. I only gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars if I could. Obviously Goodreads doesn't let you do half, so I gave it 4. But yeah, my main problem with this was the flipping synopsis on the back. So it tells you who buys her, because the first two sentences are auctioned as a surrogate, imprisoned in the palace of the Duchess of the Lake. So you find out who buys her, and you get about probably about 100 pages in, maybe. Just a little bit below 100 pages, and then she gets bought, so you already know who's going to buy her. The scene in the auction may as well not happen, because you know who's going to buy her because the back's told you. And then obviously this has a romance aspect, as I said earlier, and that is to do with Violet and another person that's a captive called Ash. And it tells you on the back that's going to happen. 200 pages in, they only just meet each other. I'm like, this makes no sense. If you're going to tell me in the synopsis that there's going to be romance, and then they're not going to meet until 200 pages in, you may as well not tell me, or you may as well put it in earlier. Because they don't even start the romance then. They only just meet in this on about 200 pages in, and that really frustrated me, because I'm there waiting and waiting and waiting to meet Ash, and to see how that he is going to be a part of the story, and how a relationship will affect Violet and what is going on. And that I was just like, I don't understand. Why am I waiting? Why have you told me this is going to happen if it's not going to happen until over halfway through the book? And I just could not. That really annoyed me, as you can probably tell, because I've been talking about it for a while. But yeah, I just did not get along with that aspect of this book. Another part of the jewel which I found extremely interesting was the auguries. I guess they're not magic, but they're not magic. They're sort of these abilities that the Violet and the other surrogates have, and that's something which I definitely thought was really interesting. I loved how it took a little bit longer for us to find out how they were affecting why the surrogates were picked, how they were affecting what lot number they were, and ultimately why the Duchess picked Violet. It was a really cool addition that I did not expect. It's not written in the synopsis, so I didn't see it coming. It was amazing. But yeah, I definitely really liked seeing how that was interwoven into the story, and how Violet used that, especially with the bits with Raven in the garden. I really enjoyed just having this like teeny weeny bit, which to most people is nothing, but actually to Violet was it just this part of home that she was just using to communicate, and I found that really lovely. I also found that the jewel was a little bit slow. It wasn't very action packed. It's not like a really events driven and gripped, and it's going to keep you reading and reading. But I would probably say it's more character driven. However, at times some of the characters felt a little underdeveloped. They made decisions. And I just didn't get why. It was like a snap decision. They just did it. There was no reason. There was no cause. They just made this decision, and I was just like, okay, what's the point of that? What's the point of this? Why have you done this? Like, it just felt like they were making random decisions for no reason, especially to do with like Violet and Ash and Lucian. Just like, okay, I don't get this. Violet, you've met this guy, like the stuff at the beginning with Lucian. Violet, you've known this guy like 30 seconds. And you starting to trust him. And the same with Ash. She trusted him before she really knew him. She just trusted him. Was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get into this thing with you. And then I was like, okay, I don't understand. Kind of just felt like some decisions were made and characters were doing things with no reason. I was just a bit confused. But one thing I definitely want to talk about in this review, in case anyone watching this is read it, is the ending. This is a spoilery section, so it doesn't matter, but the ending with Garnet, where it's like it's not Lucian talking to her anymore, it's Garnet, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, Garnet has obviously been present in the book, he's in the book, but he was never like a key player, he was never a key person, and then suddenly it's like, boom, Garnet is like talking to her and Garnet's going to go out. I'm like, what? Like, where did that come? I was so shocked, so surprised. That was a twist that I just did not see coming, and that has left me wanting to read the next one, just because I want to know why. Like, where has Garnet appeared from in this part of the story? Like, how has that happened? Like, have I missed something, or is that actually meant to just be the shock that it was? It was literally ended on that page. Yeah. because she's on the Arcania, which is like a tune-in fork where she can talk, which talks to Lucy in, and it's like, it's Garnet's voice. Don't worry, we're gonna get you out of here. I'm like, like, okay, this is really interesting now. Like that last page, before sort of the last chapter, I wasn't too, and probably wouldn't have read the next book. After that last chapter, we'll definitely be looking into getting the next book, because that just had me just like, whoa, like this is, when did Garnet become the saviour? Like, what? That's my review of The Duel by Amy Ewing. Apologies that this has been a little bit all over the place, guys. I guess that's just because that's kind of how I felt about it. Obviously, I'm very annoyed by the synopsis on the back, but let me know if you've read this and you have similar thoughts, or if you've read this and you can disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Just let me know what you think and maybe we can chat about it. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, apologies, this review has been a bit all over the place, but that's just kind of how I feel about this book, and I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. So if you did enjoy this, remember to like and subscribe. If you have any book reviews for me, then let me know in the comments, and I shall see you next time, guys. Bye.